Hello, students. In the previous class, we have covered the first type of planning, that is objective. Now, let's go to the next type of a plan, which is called as a strategy. When we talk about objective and strategy together, in simple words, objective is the target that you would like to achieve as a manager, and strategy is a plan that is going to help you to reach out to your target. Let's define a strategy is an overall plan for meeting challenges posed by competitors and environmental factors. So strategy comes into the picture whenever you as a manager or a company identifies a challenge from the external environment of a business. It could be because of the competitor, it could be a change in government policy, it could be change in the suppliers quotations, it could be change in customer demands or anything that is in a part of external environment. So strategy helps a company bringing it from its current position to the desired position in the market. So bringing an organization from the current to the desired position is the aim of framing a strategy. Now strategy is a basic plan to achieve the objectives. Let us describe strategy. So what we will do, we'll discuss this with the help of an example. So let's say you and your friend are planning to start with a coffee shop in your area. Now, what would be the strategy for the long run survival in the market where there are already well established coffee shops? What strategy you will adopt in order to sustain and survive in the given competition? So let's begin. So strategy is first of all a long term plan. So जब आप आपके फ्रेंड के साथ मिलके एक कॉफी शॉप शुरू करने का प्लान करते हो, तो आपका लॉन्ग टर्म स्ट्रैटेजी यही होगा कि आपको सस्टेन करना है और एक गुडविल बिल्ड करना है. सो हियर योर एम मे नॉट बी द सेल, बट योर एम might be creating the goodwill, reputation, and obviously the profit, along with gaining the customer's attention and gaining their trust and confidence in your coffee shop. So strategy is not a short-term plan, it is a long-term plan. Resource direction. So whenever you plan for your strategy, you're basically planning how you're going to utilize your resources that are available with you. Let's say in the same example of a coffee shop, what kind of a resource decisions you will take. So instead of having a takeaway window in your coffee shop, you may focus on building good sitting area so that it attracts the people who are working from home who to come down to your cafe shop and sit there, order the food, order the cafe, and utilize that space as their co-working space. So this is just an example where you wanted to utilize your coffee shop and create an image that it could be the second best option for people, those who are working from home. So you may be planning to create a good sitting area, a sitting space, and also providing free Wi-Fi with a very good speed so that the people find it comfortable to sit in your cafe, order some food, order a coffee, and work with their laptops. So that could be the way you manage your resources. It is strategy is externally focused. So here, whenever you're planning a strategy, whenever you're writing a strategy, your attention would be external, focusing on the external components of your business. So here in this example, what your customer needs. Now, let's say there are already multiple cafes in your area. So what difference you're making? So here, instead of focusing on the speed, of delivering the coffee, or instead of focusing on the variety of food, you're focusing on creating a different setup where people want to sit in your coffee shop, not just to have a coffee, but to do their work. So here, you're trying to attract a different set of customers than the usual coffee lovers. So strategy is ideally externally focused. Going to the next point, forward looking. So here, a strategy is framed looking at the future needs or looking at the future goals of a company. So let's say in this coffee shop example, as I already mentioned, your aim is not just to serve the customers with good variety of coffee, but along with it, creating a different image entirely by providing them a good sitting area, a comfortable sitting area, along with a free Wi-Fi, where the people find it comfortable and secure to work, whoever are working from home. So here you're looking forward for creating a co-working space for the customers and also gaining the attention of a particular set of clients. Whenever it comes to strategy, the major contribution is from the top level management. So the strategy making or the strategy decisions are ideally taken by the top level management, and it is executed by the organization, or it is executed by the members of organization. So there is a major contribution of top level management whenever it comes to strategy making. Last but not the least, interpretative plan. Now it gives meaning to other plans in light of specific situation. So whenever you design a strategy, let's say in this current example of opening a coffee shop, if the strategy is to build a distinct image that your coffee shop is not just a coffee shop, but it could be the second best option for people who are working from home. Now, this plan is going to guide your remaining plans. Like, what would be the procedure? What kind of people you will hire in your coffee shop? What kind of coffee you are going to sell? What kind of food you're going to serve along with the coffee? So all these decisions are now attached, or now they are going to be dependent on what strategy you have designed. So with this, let's move on to our next slide. So next slide talks about different types of strategies. So primarily there are two types of strategies, master strategy and functional strategy. Now master strategy is a strategy which is going to affect your entire organization. Means a strategy which is planned in such a way and implemented in such a way that your entire company is going to be affected. Such strategy is called as a master strategy. Now, there are again subtypes in master strategy. Let's have a look. First one is stability strategy. Now, let's say a businessman doesn't want to expand the business and he or she is happy with their current position in the market. So whatever sales they have, the amount of profit they are earning, the customers they are tied up with, they are happy with it and they do not have any future growth plans. That means they want to have a strategy that keeps their business stable. So there is no plans for expansion, diversification, no new markets will be targeted, no new customers will be attached with, but they are happy with their current position. So here the company adopts a stability strategy. Second type of a strategy is called as a growth strategy. Here, any company who wish to expand their business or diversify their business are going to adopt growth strategy. Like in our previous example, if you start with a coffee shop in your local area, you may have a growth plan where you are now planning to expand your business in 4 more cities in your state. That could be a growth plan. So growth strategy comes into a picture whenever a business has a plan to expand or to diversify. It could be in terms of market, or it could be in terms of expanding their product line. The third strategy is integration strategy. So whenever a business opts, or whenever a business plans to get merged, or a business is going to merge another company, where it integrates its current business with another business, then the company is adopting a integration strategy, where two different organizations, they combine their business. It could be for various reasons. It could be for the loss, it could be because of the very tough competition, it could be because the products are becoming outdated, it could be any reason, or it could be the for the purpose of growth of both the businesses. So when there are mergers or amalgamation, there is a integration that happens in the vertical business format, and that is called as a integration strategy. Fourth one is called as a turnaround strategy. Now, what is turnaround? Let's say any particular business who is suffering loss for consecutive number of years. Let's say for 5 to 7 years, the business is facing loss. In such a case, the business can adopt turnaround strategy. Now, in turnaround strategy, the business will shut down their current loss-making business. Means what? अगर business में loss हो रहा है, 5-6 सालों से loss हो रहा है, तो उस business को step by step manner में उसको shut down करना. And एक ऐसा कोई decision लेना, या तो entirely going into the new business line, that is called as a turnaround strategy. So here, primarily the business will be shut down, the one who is suffering loss will be closed, and some new option will be identified. Last but not the least is a closure strategy. So when a business doesn't work, there are no profits, there's no demand for the product, the customers have identified maybe some other substitute, and now the business is unable to sustain and survive in the market, the last option would be the closure strategy. So these are the master strategies. The second one that we have is called as a functional strategy. Now, functional strategy is also called as a program or minor strategies, which develop resources to achieve specific objectives across different business areas. Now, a simple meaning of functional strategy is a strategy which is framed at the departmental level or at the functional level for implementing its plans, for implementing its policies. Such strategy is called as a functional strategy. So any strategy that a marketing department develops in order to increase the sales, okay, it could be aggressive advertising किया, या फिर discount offer किया है, या फिर किसी बड़े celebrity को हमने लिया product को endorse करने के लिए. That could be a part of marketing strategy adopted by marketing department. Even the production department can have a production strategy. Let's say, for example, they have identified that the factory can be operated in 4 different shifts, including the night shift, but currently factory सिर्फ 3 shift में काम कर रहा है. If the company want to increase the number of products which are manufactured every week, the strategy that can be adopted is, in order to increase the production, the company can start working even in the night shift. So the factory can also run or be functional in the night shift. So that could be a strategy adopted by a production department. So any strategy which is adopted by departments, developed by departments, is called as a functional strategy. Let us have a look at how a strategy is developed. That is strategy making process. It's a very simple process. It begins with analyzing the environment, the first step. Now, why we have to analyze the environment? Only then you can identify कि आपके सामने क्या opportunities है और क्या challenges है. Now, let me again specify this, that strategy making process primarily identifies the opportunities and challenges which is a part of external environment. So, strategy making process begins with analyzing the environment. Now, once you analyze the environment, the second step is self appraisal. Now, what is self appraisal? Once you identify कि market में क्या challenges है, क्या opportunities है जो आपको face करनी है, आपके business को face करनी है, उसके बाद आप देखोगे कि आपके strength और weaknesses क्या है. That is your self appraisal. So you are going to see what resources you have, how much money you are having, how much production capacity you have in your factory, what resources are available, what are your capabilities basically. That is called as a self appraisal. मतलब बाहर जो भी challenges है जिसको आपको face करना है, उसके लिए आपकी अपनी कितनी तैयारी है, आपके पास कितना पैसा है business में, आपके पास क्या resources available है, उसको identify करना is called as a self appraisal. Now, once you are done with self appraisal, the next thing is strategic alternatives. तो प्लानिंग का सबसे पहला रूल है कि आप एक प्लान पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं रह सकते. You should always have alternative plans. Now, similarly, whenever you're making strategy, whenever you're designing strategy, you just cannot depend on one single strategy. There has to be alternatives created. So, in the step number 3, alternative strategies are developed by the business, and whichever strategy is most appropriate, whichever strategy is most suitable. जैसे अगर सेल्स कम हो रहा है, आपने डिसाइड किया कि या तो हम एडवर्टाइजिंग के ऊपर ज्यादा स्पेंड करेंगे या तो हम डिस्काउंट ऑफर करेंगे. अब दोनों में से जो स्ट्रैटेजी आपके लिए ज्यादा प्रॉफिटेबल है, अप्रोप्रिएट है, उसको आप फाइनलाइज करोगे. ओके, तो हियर ऑल्टरनेटिव डिजाइन करना, ऑल्टरनेटिव स्ट्रैटेजीज को डिजाइन करना, एंड देन आइडेंटिफाइंग विच alternative is most suitable to the company, that is to be finalized. That is your step number 4, which is strategic choice. So strategic choice means first identifying different alternative strategies और उसमें जो भी suitable है, best suitable है आपकी कंपनी के लिए current situation में, मीन्स आपके पास कितना फंड्स है, कितने रिसोर्सेस है, कितना मैन पावर है, कितने मशीनरीज है, आप कितना रिस्क ले सकते हो, ये सारी चीजों को आइडेंटिफाई करके आपको एक स्ट्रैटेजिक चॉइस लेना है. मतलब आपको एक फाइनल स्ट्रैटेजी को सिलेक्ट करना है. लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट इन स्ट्रैटेजी मेकिंग प्रोसेस इज स्ट्रैटेजी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. तो जैसे ही आपका डिसीजन हो जाता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपको सेल्स पे फोकस करना है, तो मार्केटिंग टीम ने ये स्ट्रैटेजी आइडेंटिफाई किया कि अगर हम ज्यादा प्रमोशन करेंगे प्रोडक्ट का, ज्यादा उसको अच्छी तरह से सेल करेंगे, एक अच्छा प्रमोशनल स्ट्रैटेजी अगर हम बनाते हैं तो सेल्स बढ़ सकता है. सो इफ यू हैव डिसाइडेड दिस एज योर फाइनल स्ट्रैटेजी, देन यू हैव टू इम्प्लीमेंट इट. अब प्रमोशनल एक्टिविटीज को बेटर करने के लिए आप आपके सेल्स स्टाफ जो होता है, जो प्रोडक्ट्स बेचते हैं, उनको आप ट्रेनिंग दोगे, उनके कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स को इम्प्रूव किया जाएगा, आपके जो प्रोडक्ट का पैकेजिंग है उसको आप बेटर बनाओगे, सो दैट आपका प्रोडक्ट का पैकेजिंग भी एक सेल्समैन का काम करेगा. आपका जो भी काउंटर है जहाँ पे बिलिंग हो रहा है, जहाँ पे अगर सपोज आपका सिस्टम में इशू है, तो आप उसको भी रिपेयर करोगे, सो दैट द कस्टमर गेट्स अ ओवरऑल गुड एक्सपीरियंस वेन एवर दे आर शॉपिंग विथ योर कंपनी. तो लास्ट स्टेप इज स्ट्रैटेजी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. जो भी आपने स्ट्रैटेजी को फाइनलाइज किया है उसको आपको कम्युनिकेट करना है, आपके जो टीम मेंबर्स हैं उन्हें आपको उसको एक्सप्लेन करना है. यू हैव टू मेक देम अंडरस्टैंड, टीच देम, ट्रेन देम, and then finally it can be executed by your employees. So here we finish with the topic strategy making process. Thank you, everyone. Until the next time we meet for our remaining topics, happy learning to everyone.